Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you a napkin box. Now I have a lovely lady who contacted me. I apologise if I don't pronounce her name correctly, but I think it's pronounced Vigdis. She asked me if I could make a box for regular size napkins and sort of coffee napkins is what she called them. She said that the large napkins are generally about 6.5, I think that's right, generally about 6.5 inches square, and the coffee ones are 4.5. And so I thought, well, you know, okay, let's help this lovely lady and create some napkin boxes. So I hope these are okay, Vigdis. And I hope they're what you wanted. So you can slip the napkins in nicely under there, but this little top piece just stops them falling out. And they are both made with 12 by 12 cardstock, so because obviously of the sizes. But I'm going to show you how to make both. But I'm going to miss this Petal Promenade DSP so much because I think it is stunning. I love it. So I have used it on all 4 of the boxes. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to show you how I made it. So we're going to start off with our largest one. So I'm using Smoky Slate on this one. And so you need a sheet of cardstock that is 12 inches by 10.5 inches, okay? And on the long side, so the 12 inches, which is 30.5 centimetres by 26.5 centimetres. So on the long side, we're going to score at 1.5, 3.5 and 10. Rotate, and on the short side, we're going to score at 2 and 8.5 inches. Oh, excuse me. That's that one done. Okay, as always, we're going to fold and burnish these lovely score lines. Lovely. I love using big pieces of cardstock and big projects. I think they just look fabulous. So we're going to do some cutting. So you've now got 2 strips across the top, and then the smaller one, and then one across the bottom. So the bottom corners here, we're simply going to cut, as we always do, our wedges on both sides. Okay. And then we're going to spin it round so that we now have the 2 lines, oops, gone out of focus, the 2 lines at the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut across that score line. So the bottom score line, we're going to cut horizontally across to the vertical score line. We're going to tuck that out of the way for the moment, and then we want to do a reflective cut to the one we have at the bottom. So we're going to cut this and create those tabs. Okay, and then you've got one that you've just tucked out of the way. We're going to create a tab out of this one too. So you actually have this strange looking shape, and we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So we're going to cut the horizontal, tuck it out of the way, and then cut down this one to create our wedges. And both boxes are made exactly the same way, so there's no crazy alternate folding. So those are my wedges cut out of the way. Let's get rid of all of that. And then we're going to need to put our DSP on. So I've put one in the bottom just because I think it would make it look really pretty once the napkins have been used up. And I've gone with the back of this one this time with this beautiful marble effect. Shame to hide those pretty flowers, but that's what we have to do. So that one goes in the bottom, and I have just cut this DSP to be in 6.25 by 6.25. So it's just given a little bit of a border around the edge, and that will be 16 by 16 centimetres. and I'm going to flip it over, and I need to add my DSP to all 4 sides. So for this one you need DSP that is 1 1/4 by 6 1/4 inches, which is 16 by 4.5 centimetres. And as I said, you need 4, so stick them on all 4 sides. I love this marble effect, I think it's really pretty as well. So stick that one on there, and then this last one. So you're just doing it as if you're doing all 4 sides of a box. And then this is the top part, this piece here. So this one is a slightly narrower piece, and this is 1 1/4 by 6 1/4, which will be 3.5 by 16 centimetres. So I'm just sticking that one on there. And then the last thing you need to do is just stick it all together. So I've got my Tombow here. Again, tear and tape is just as good. But I'm just going to stick this one with Tombow. I don't know why my glue's decided not to play the game today. And then I'm also sticking some on those bits there. Okay, so we'll start at the bottom here. So we're literally creating that lovely box effect again. So if you have clips, you know me and my pegs and clips, I tuck those in and hold the bottom, in place. And then we're doing exactly the same here. So we're going to tuck these in to create our box here. And then these last parts here, just fold in and tuck on the inside. Just make sure you line that top up, because obviously you don't want that to look unlevel. I've got glue everywhere. So these just tuck down and tuck just inside, if you're not covered in glue. And this is where your tear and tape will be slightly easier, because obviously you don't need to, or you won't get glue everywhere. But there's your pretty napkin box made up. And then we just need to decorate it. So I've got my smoky slate stamp pad there. I've got this beautiful element that I die cut from the Stitched Labels framelets, because I'm going to use the Stitched All Around stamp set and that lovely thank you. I'll move that out of the way. Smoky slate, just stamped there. And then I have my 1 1/2 inch circle punch that just stamps that out, punches that out rather, just nicely. And then just some dimensionals, which I'm just trying to grab here. So I put a couple on the back there, and then a couple on the back of my die cut. Stick that onto my beautiful little die cut there, and then this just sticks onto the top. And that's your large napkin box made up. And so I'm now going to show you very quickly, as I said, it's the same principle, just move all my bits out of the way, how to make the smaller one. So I'm going with Blushing Bride this time, and this DSP is 8 3/4 by 10 3/4, sorry, cardstock, 8 3/4 by 10 3/4, which is 22 by 27 centimetres. On the short side we're going to score at 2 6 3/4, which is 5 17 centimetres, and on the long side we're going to score at 2 4 and 8 3/4, which will be 5, 10 and 22 centimetres. And as I said, it's exactly the same process as before, so we'll just fold and burnish those score lines, trying not to get covered in glue. Tell you what, let's get rid of that lovely flowery grid paper and just use my normal one that's not covered in glue. So fold and burnish all of those, exactly the same cutting. So that bottom square, we cut those wedges again with the one opposite, and then exactly the same scenario, so we cut across the horizontal line, tuck that out of the way, and then cut our wedges, and then we cut wedges out of this one too. So like I said, exactly the same as the previous box, just a little bit smaller. And the last one. Okay, so once we've done all of that, we then want our DSP. So again, we need a large one for the centre, and this one is 4.5 by 4.5 centimetres, which is 11.5 by 11.5 centimetres. So that just sits nicely in the bottom. And now this time our top panel is exactly the same size as the sides, so you'll need 5 pieces of DSP for this, which are 1 3/4 by 4.5. And that's completely wrong, because according to my measurements that's 4.5 by 4.5 centimetres, which absolutely can't be correct. So let's have a quick look. So it's going to be, let's have a look, 4.5 by 11.5. 4.5 by 11.5 centimetres. As I say, you need 5 of them because it's the same on the top. I'm going to miss this DSP so much. I think I already said that, but I've only just, if you like, started playing with it, or only just discovered it after it was free with Celebration, and I managed to get a good 2 or 3 packs of it. And I'm gutted that I didn't use it sooner, because I absolutely love it. I think it's so pretty. But we have lots of other new stuff, so can't complain. Right, so back again now, in with our Tombow, and get that adhesive on those tabs. Oops, that came out a bit crazy. It's going a bit mad, I think, this glue today. Probably overused it, I suspect. Okay, so exactly the same as before. So we're going to pop the bottom pieces in as you would for your normal box. So let's just pop the peg on while I do the rest. Where did my other peg go? It's there. And then again, we tuck these 2 pieces in to create the back of our box. Just make sure you're lining it up. Don't be in a haste to get this all stuck, because you want to make sure those boxes are square, and if you rush to not stick this down properly, they won't be. And then we're literally just tucking the same pieces back inside, and then just make sure they're flat across the top here. So I'm just going to fill that up there, press that glue in, just make sure it's all stuck. As I say, using tear and tape does make this quicker and easier. And then we just need to decorate this exactly the same way. So I have my pretty die cut here, and then I have my stamp again and my blushing bride. Exactly the same as before. 1.5 circle punch. And then just make sure I've got my dimensionals straight so they'll sit across the middle of this pretty die cut. And there are my napkin boxes, just for that lovely lady who asked me quite a while ago. To be fair, I was a little bit delayed getting these made, but there we have them. So move that out of the way. So there, the small ones, and there the larger ones, which I can actually put inside, save some room. But there are my napkin boxes. I hope they're okay, and I hope they're what you wanted, Vigdress, and I hope that you send many boxes of napkins to your lovely recipients. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all again soon.